Hey everyone, this is Peter from Roland here at Guitar Center to talk about the D-05 boutique synthesizer. The D-05 is based off of the kind of cult classic D50 linear arithmetic synthesizer that Roland released in the late 80s. The D50 was a huge success because it combined digital technology with kind of the ease of editing at the time. There were a lot of other digital synthesizers that were really hard to edit and hard to kind of get into the patch editing system. So the D50 kind of countered that with a much easier way to edit your sounds. But what ended up happening was people loved the presets so much that they became kind of iconic and used all throughout the late 80s and early 90s. The D-05 has a ton of improvements over the D50, most notably the sound engine. You can use the old school digital sound engine of the D50, but you can also put it in a clean mode, which gives you a much cleaner signal that's more suitable for modern recording and tracking. There's also a polyphonic step sequencer in there as well, and there's an arpeggiator which you can put into different types of modes. The boutique form factor too has an all-metal case. You have audio MIDI over USB, and you can use it with pretty much any DAW that you want because it technically acts as a sound card. So the D-05 has all of the original presets of the D50 stored in it. All of the expandable cards, pretty much any sound that was in the D50 is in the D-05. What's even cooler is that if you had the original D50 and designed your own sounds, you can implement all of that patch data via sysx straight into the D-05, so you can transfer all of your patches to this. The boutique form factor too allows you to chain these together so you can stack the voices. So you have 8 voices for the upper and lower part if you wanted to divide it. But if you had 2 D-05s, that'll multiply. So you can basically double your voice count with both of these, and that's a boutique feature, which is pretty much applicable to any boutique that we have. So we could go into some of the added performance features. So if I hold Shift and hit Sequencer, I can get into the arpeggiator menu. I can turn it on. I can change the direction. And come up with melodies that would otherwise be kind of hard to do on the original D50. So it's a really cool performance feature to have. I have things like a hold option where I can kind of lay it down a chord and then take my hands away from the keyboard and then maybe use different types of patches. And to see what might sound better or worse in a sequence or arpeggiator setting. The D-05 has a polyphonic sequencer which you can access by hitting the sequencer button, and you can select a sequence that has a patch stored with it. So that's pretty cool for performance-oriented situations. If you wanted to save a bunch of patterns with different patches for each, you can switch between them. So if I wanted to play this back, I can edit the sequence if I wanted to, or if I could go into pattern select and then find the right pattern to go into, and it switches the patch. Not only are the presets of the original stored in the D-05, it also comes with a bunch of different patterns which I just played back for you, included as well. So you can actually mix and match different tones with the presets that are already there. You can kind of change the stock patterns to kind of suit the song that you're using it for. And it's just some great inspirational material that comes with it. The aesthetics of the D-05 are really interesting because it presents a different side to vintage. It presents vintage digital, so it kind of reminds me of like late 80s, early 90s, VHS era type of technology, which kind of has come back into vogue in its own way in different styles of music. I mean, if you listen to the radio, there's not just analog tones, but there's bells, there's like really interesting leads, there's metallic sound design, and people are getting really creative. And the person that probably buys the D-05 is looking for something that's inspirational, that they can kind of go in, see what the sounds are, and really kind of build a song around something that they don't quite expect. So I think the D-05 has a lot of great sounds that are inspirational and you can use it for a ton of different genres. The faceplate is really kind of this great retro, future retro look with this. Basically, they've emulated the joystick as well, which controls it's kind of the partial balance, so you can use it to shape the sound in different ways. You can kind of change between the volumes of the parts that are part of the sound, and then kind of create more evolving textures along with it. The D50 had a ton of unique features that were kind of specific to that instrument line. There hasn't really been a lot of modern synths that kind of match the D50's complexity. So the D-05 has a lot of these really cool, interesting features, like the chase, for example, acts as a MIDI delay, but you can delay different parts of the sound and not just the sound in its entirety. So if I play some kind of ascending line, it's not just delaying the sound, it's actually kind of delaying different features and parts about the sound as I kind of go up. And you can change that and you can kind of customize it to how you want it to appear in your production. But again, it's a really cool feature that the D50 had that is also in place in the D-05. The D-05 is a boutique, so it has the audio and MIDI capability of streaming audio and MIDI straight into your session. So right now I have the D-05 connected via mini USB into Ableton, and if I go into preferences, I can select the D-05 as an audio input device. So now, when I play, I can see the audio coming in. And this is a great feature to have if you're traveling a lot or if you need some kind of portable solution to making music and you want to use this synthesizer. It's great to be able to just stream audio straight into your session and not have to worry about another interface to work with. What's also fun is to use the D-05 as a sound source. If you already have MIDI information recorded in your sessions, you can send it back out into the unit and use it strictly as a sound module. The D-05 is probably the most interesting addition to the boutique line. It goes into digital territory using the D50's iconic presets and sounds and programming. You have all that accessible with the D-05. Along with the fact that you can have audio MIDI over USB, added sequencer and arpeggiator, and multiple sound modes. So play it at your local Guitar Center or check it out at guitarcenter.com.